Shoot. I feel like Sean Payton, so we can go ahead however we want to go ahead.
Well, you feel like Sean Payton. Can you explain what that means?
Unfortunately, it was not over and back. Just watched the film. It's really disappointing, obviously, to have that call, earlier in the game that I felt went the other way, and then this one here. But I don't want to construe that as that's the reason we lost. We obviously did a lot of other things, but it just sucks for us right now just to fight back like that in the second half and give ourselves a chance to win. And unfortunately, one play for us does mean a lot. We don't have a large margin of error where we just go out and overwhelm teams in certain ways. We need, unfortunately, calls and things that, sometimes might be 50-50 to kind of go our way. So unfortunately, that play there ended up being a huge play in the game. And it was just kind of disappointing just watching the film there real quickly to kind of see what the call was.
You talked about the comeback, the fight back. What did you literally do to come back and have a chance to win?
I thought, I've had a lot of talks with these guys, but we had one at halftime just about playing basketball the right way. And in the first half, we just didn't. On defense, on offense, we just weren't doing a lot of simple, fundamental things that are independent of style of play or scheme or technique, just doing fundamental things, blocking out, passing, giving it to the open man, defending in a stance, just basic things that we just did a lot of mental errors. I told them we look really young. We looked like an inexperienced team, and they looked like a veteran, wired team, just connected, and we've got to find a way to fix that. And fortunately for 20 minutes, I thought we did. Our mental errors went down drastically. It was enough to get us right back into the game and then actually take the lead. Unfortunately, there at the end, at the moment, you're like, man, maybe that was a mental error, but you look at it and it's like, hey, you always tell the kid not to cross half court, and he didn't cross half court. So it's a bitter pill to swallow from a coaching perspective and from our team's perspective. There's other things we could have done, but in a lot of games, unfortunately, they come down to one or two plays. And last year, we had some of those kind of go our way. You get a buzzer beater here, you miss one there, and you get Sims. And for whatever reason this year, between Colorado, between New Mexico State, between this game, it just seems like down the stretch we can't get like a ball to bounce our way. And it's humbling, and we just got to keep working our way through it.
Well, I thought you defended well for certainly the last 25 to 30 minutes. I thought on their last possession, it felt like, I know what you saw, they got off script. Porter was wide open,
yeah.
Obviously, but I thought you defended that whole shot clock. And
he made a heck of a shot, and he made an earlier one, and part of our thing was we wanted him to shoot. He's not a guy that shoots very much, so we really wanted to kind of get him to create some offense for them, and he made an earlier shot, and we kind of thought, let's guard him a little more honestly and shoot. I mean, it was a contested shot. You got to give him credit. I thought he made a tough shot to win the game.
Anthony didn't score until 14 minutes ago in the game. What'd you do to get him?
It really wasn't much. I thought we just finally started sharing the ball, and I think Utah State maybe wore down a little bit from just the game. I thought the game maybe just kind of started to tilt our favor. If there was maybe a few more minutes, maybe I'd feel even better about it. But the game was trending our way, really, I thought, from halftime on, and thankfully, Anthony was able to kind of get going there late.
Obviously, their big man in the middle changes a whole lot, and even though stat-wise, maybe he didn't have a big game, he still really altered quite a bit of what you guys were doing, I would think.
He did.
I'm happy, though, overall on both ends with how you guys handled him.
Yeah, I think, we knew going in that he was charge prone, so we were kind of looking for some things. I thought him getting in foul trouble probably isolated him a little bit, or not isolated, but, maybe contained him a little bit from being sometimes the player that he usually is. He's just such a presence around the rim at both ends of the court. He definitely kind of affected the game down there, but I don't know if he necessarily did it in ways that he's done previously. I thought the way we kind of went through him on both ends of the floor was solid.
You've talked a lot this season about judging progress from game to game or even just within games. What did you see from start to finish with McGee?
Keith, I thought defensively struggled a little bit tonight, and that was part of the reason we kind of, went away from there. They were just really going at him one-on-one, getting him caught in some different scenarios. He's a young kid, and he doesn't have a lot of reps on the floor. He's got a tremendous upside. He's a very talented kid. It was just tough to kind of get him out there tonight as much as we usually have, or the way we wanted to, just because defensively he was struggling a little bit, and they were picking on him.
Corey Monago only got 3 minutes today. Is he in the doghouse again?
No, it really wasn't. I think it was just kind of the way the game went. I thought Vlad has really, the last couple of games, given us particularly some good defense around the rim. And I thought Vlad was doing a good job on Keita, which we needed. And really the way the game was just unfolding with their size or lack of size 1 through 4, we had to kind of counter it, particularly defensively, because they were scoring so easily. So we were kind of playing some smaller defensive-oriented guys, and it just didn't happen to get back to him. It was nothing more than that.
Well, getting back to the controversial play, that's something you can't review, I take it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll check in on that. I don't know.
Within the last minute, I guess you can review certain things.
Good point. Good point.
And then also on that, wouldn't you rather have Mathis hanging on to the ball across the line and trying to draw the foul in that situation?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think initially we thought they were just going to kind of play it straight up. They brought like a little trap there late. Our rule is not to cross half court when you think you're going to get doubled. And it was close. At the time I thought maybe he did. An official makes the call, and Tone just swore, I didn't. And then, you walk up and watch the clip, and it didn't seem as though he did. So, like I said, look, it hurts in that call, but there's obviously a lot of other plays as well. I don't want to make this an officials thing. I'm not. That's not what I want to do here. It sucks the feeling for sure.
Was Corey or the team doctor, were they able to give you any kind of update on Anthony? Did he actually have to get a quick stitch or anything?
I didn't ask. I don't know. They just came back to me and said he was good to go, and the only way I could get him back in the game was to call a timeout, so we called a timeout to get him back in the game.
Coach, real quick, you've improved some things to look more competitive. Mm-hmm. You're in the game again. Are you happy with what's come together?
Shoot, I've said this before. To me, you want to be process-oriented, not win and loss-oriented. Unfortunately, the losing takes a toll, and this losing is taking a toll. And we've got to find a way to win some games while we're process-oriented, because it's really hard to just stick with that. But we're going to, and we have to keep chugging away and chipping away at the things that we do and hope that this is the kind of game that turns for us later. And the games that last year we were able to win in these situations, hopefully at some point this year will go our way.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.